I've done a lot of videos that cover exactly how to fly. I've looked at the technical issues, I've looked at swarms and forges, discussed the game, discussed flying, and the various aspects of it. But one thing I don't think I have done very well is show people why you would want to be a pilot, what it's like to play as one, how a typical match goes, what a typical match is like. So I thought I'd upload a couple of matches, just the full thing as it played out, nothing planned in advance, just to show people what it's like to be a pilot. I thought I'd also, while I was doing it, tell you why I'm doing certain things, so it doesn't look like I'm just flying around at random. At the moment I'm getting a drop uplink out. This is so that if I choose to get out of my dropship, the first thing I'm holding when I step out of it is the uplink. This makes extracting out of your vehicle a lot safer. Land, you're holding your uplink, drop it, straight back in. It's also useful at the beginning of a match, if you're in a slightly dangerous place, to drop the uplink at your feet, so that when you call your vehicle in, if you're shot, but this will be particularly important in 1.7 if you're in faction warfare where friendly fire's on, and a blue on your team could shoot you and steal your vehicle. I think I'll be covering that at the time because we're going to need some tactics for that. Unfortunately, this is taken during the 1.6 build where we still got the bug where the RDV doesn't seem to want to let go of your dropship. Again, this is supposed to be fixed in 1.7, it isn't the patch notes, so we'll just have to keep our fingers crossed, because while my ship is hovering there, it's in a lot of danger for being shot down from a railed tank or a forge gunner who may have got into the map early. Or it looks like it drops, but it still hasn't, and I almost got crushed by thinking it got in there early, so be careful if you still see this. I probably called it in a little too close to the building. When I take off, notice how I keep it low, point myself in a direction and keep as many buildings as I can between myself and the enemy side. As soon as I'm over the hill, tuck it close to the building. What I'm doing here is going to put a rooftop uplink down so that some people on my team can use it to spawn in. A good thing to do is make sure you're facing the direction you want the people to spawn in when you drop your uplink. Putting it there by that entrance means that people will spawn and they can go immediately down off the lip. The best way off the roof there was to roll off, go back around my side and keep as many buildings as I can so that if I have been seen on the rooftop by a forge gunner, I can get away safely. The idea is to make sure that when I'm seen, or if I have been seen, that I can mitigate any chance they'll shoot me. I was going to put another uplink down here on Echo, but just before I landed on that rooftop I noticed that cannon, and it could probably hit me on that roof, so I changed my mind and land on this one instead. Slightly heavy landing, but sometimes going down fast and taking a bit of damage is better than hanging around. And popping the afterburners on immediately to get you out of there as quick as possible, because that's the enemy side. It's likely that someone may have seen me coming in and was trying to line up a shot. Since I've made everyone see me, they're well aware of me on the map, so I use high speed to take myself across to my side and over towards a building that I know to be safe and that I can use for cover. By dropping down behind the building like this, anyone who has seen me and is tracking me and is trying to get a shot in is going to lose sight, and they won't be able to tell where I'm going to pop up from either. I'm just going to get rid of this railgun turret because anything that could potentially kill me needs to go. I don't want that thing shooting at me from across the map, so the best thing to do is kill it, get rid of it. Stop shooting the turret to take a shot at that guy, then go back to the turret. I could have hit him in one shot if he'd been in a weak suit, but he wasn't, so I didn't. You just kind of have to balance the threats you face against the choices of targets you have. The guy could have been a bigger threat, so by chasing him off was better, as I had the turret under control. Dropship there, just over by Alpha, so I go to have a go at that. I don't know what type it is at this point, although you can see now that it's white, and the way it's moving it's obviously an assault dropship. So I go in to give him some hassle. Make sure you come from above, so that he doesn't see you coming. Never approach from the front, the idea being to try and keep yourself with the advantage in the first part of the engagement. He's trying to work out where I am, that's why he's spinning around like that. And since he can't, he does the wise thing and he actually runs off into his red zone. This guy obviously has some skills as a dropship pilot because he knows what to do. He was caught off guard, didn't know where the threat was, ran to the red line to reassess, which is what you should do if you're completely caught off guard. Since he's in the red line, I just leave and go somewhere else, tucking myself down behind this building as quick as I can, so that I get the advantage of dropping off people's radars, breaking swarm locks. Gives me a chance to do the thing where I can pop back into the fight when people have forgotten where I am. It also means that any forward gunners or swarmers might be waiting for me. I'll be pointing this way, concentrating on this building, waiting for me to pop up, and that makes it easy for the infantry to take them out. That's because they're not paying attention to the infantry, they're looking up at the sky at me. I hear swarms launch there, so I keep going in a relatively straight line with a slight curve to keep my speed up at maximum. Since it doesn't hit me, I figure it's pretty safe to slow down, as I see this guy up on the rooftop, so I stop to get rid of him. But I also notice there's an uplink there. So what I do is I try and get the uplink first. I'm ignoring the guy completely, and then our friend in the enemy dropship supports him, but he's no threat, so just want to get rid of this uplink. The idea here is the infantry players can take care of those guys, but the infantry players would struggle to get rid of that uplink when I know it's there. So the best thing to do in those situations, and if you're in an assault dropship, is kill the uplink first, let the infantry worry about the people. Those are the things you can do as a pilot that they struggle to do. He's made a mistake by turning his back on me like that. He's actually left me an opening to shoot his weak spot. I'm deep in the red zone, so I have to afterburn out of that as quick as I can so it don't explode. Now he's down, so I'm going back to the battle. Keeping high, because I don't know what the ground forces are doing at the moment, and ducking down behind this building to give myself some cover if someone has seen me approaching. I see this turret, might as well get rid of it. It's on the enemy side, so I've got to be a little bit careful. You notice I don't hang still when I do it, and this is because by keeping some momentum, if I choose to leave, I can leave in the direction of my momentum. It actually speeds up my acceleration. It makes leaving, in the case of threat, a lot quicker and easier. Now that that's gone, I tuck myself behind the building in case someone was watching me. Keeping it low, letting them lose track again, back over to my side where it's safe. What I'm doing here is I'm just waiting to see what the game is doing. There's a vehicle coming in, and I'm looking to see if any of the objectives are going to start flashing. Trying to think where I might be needed. I'm also listening to team chat to see if anyone's requesting anything. I noticed that there's a lav heading over to D there, so pop over, take a few shots at him. And I also know that from team chat that D is being attacked. You can see some reds about. So I keep chasing this lav to get him to leave. But when I see this turret, I decide it's a bigger threat to me because it's a blaster, so I stop to get rid of it. Very difficult to kill lavs anyway for the dropship, so the best thing to do is scare them off. You can sometimes kill the driver. Now that that's gone, because there are so enemies on the objective, I leave, so that if they're tracking me, I'm safe again. And you can see I do this constantly. I keep changing my position, keep moving quickly. You see a shadow just on the ground there. That's our friend the dropship, which is why I turn around and look back over myself to try and find him. And I notice he's up there in the top right hand corner. So I'm just trying to come around behind him rather than go straight at him. Obviously he knows where I am, but he's run into the red line. I do fly over to take a pot shot at him, so he knows I'm aware of him because he's looking straight at me, so he's probably seen me too. Since it's the red line, I'm being swarmed. Best bet, get out of there. Thought I'd head over to Delta because it's being hacked, obviously. By coming in that way, using a twist stop to drop down from high speed, I can come to a stop quickly. But the Ford's going to see me, but he didn't hit me, so I figure I can take one hit, so I'll stay and shoot this guy. But after he hits me, I have to get out of there. So it was worth hanging around just to take that one shot, knowing that I could use my afterburner to escape, and run off to my usual spot to tuck myself behind this building, so the Ford's going to lose his track of me. The good thing to do at this point is wait for some time. That Ford's gunner's probably still aiming at me. He's waiting for me to pop up. So that means he's not paying attention probably to the ground forces that may be attacking Delta. So hang around, let him forget, or let him lose interest before you move out. Because he'll just be waiting. If it's a breach or something, that he's holding his charge and he'll be waiting for you to pop up. Excuse my slight tap on the ground here. Doesn't really matter, only a tiny bit of damage. I'm going the long way round. My intention here was to go back to Delta. But I see E flashing, so I pop over the top. I keep getting swarmed. That was the first one. There's some more incoming, so I decide to leave. There's not enough support from the ground forces to get rid of that swarm launcher, so back over to Delta where the action is. Come in fast and low, so those ground troops have no idea I was coming. Remember that forge gunner's still over here, so I'm kind of being quick. Once I've got one kill, I move out. This is because the forge gunner can see the kill feed. He knows I just got a kill. He knows his teammates just died. He can use that information to work out where I am if he hadn't seen me. So keep moving. This will be more useful in 1.7. Move in, fast, stop, kill, leave. It's a technique I think we'll have to use quite regularly. Forge gunner's got a beat on me again. So I help this guy get that kill and then high speed it out of there. Keeping low and fast to make it difficult for the forge gun to target me. Keep my movement slightly erratic, but not too tight. Sweeping turns to try and stop myself getting hit by the forge. Obviously I couldn't avoid those swarms. As you can see, I ran into my friend, the other dropship pilot, on my escape route, so fire a few shots at him, but he's still hanging around in the red zone. And since I'm being swarmed, it would be unwise for me to stay too long to finish the fight. So I'll do a flip and run over to my side, because the forge gun knew where I was, the enemy dropship knew where I was, the swarm launchers know where I am. So it's time to just back out a bit and wait. But the dropship followed me over. You could see that explosion his missile caused in his shadow. So I do a spin, pop round, try and find where he is. I managed to spot him up in the air there. It's always a good tactic to drop the camera around so you're looking at your underside rather than tilting your nose up. That way you can see above you without losing altitude. It's the same pilot I killed earlier, and it might explain his slight hesitance to come and fight me proper, because he's clearly not got as strong a dropship as mine, and so he's being very careful in his engagements. I don't know if his intention was to try and kill me, but he was certainly doing a good job of distracting me from attacking the ground forces. He may also be trying to lure me over to where he knows his swarm launchers are, seeing as I just took a swarm launcher hit. If a weaker dropship keeps popping out and then leading you back, they might be trying to bring you into range of their rail or their forges. This is something that happens in a lot of dropship fights. Both pilots keep trying to get above each other, and they go up and up and up until eventually they're at max flight ceiling. There's no point having fights up there. They never really end up with a victory on either side. The best thing to do is drop down, bring them to the ground forces on your side who you have AV weapons, or bring it down so you can use the buildings to maneuver around. This is particularly important if you feel that your dropship's weaker than the one you're fighting. Staying at the flight ceiling, having a slapping fight, will mean you lose. If you have a weaker dropship, than your opponent, then the best thing to do is use the buildings, the ground, and your forces to fight them. Match is pretty much coming to an end at this point, so I've really given up on the ground forces, because as you can see I'm taking all sorts of AV fire, as well as being shot by the dropship. So I'm just trying to keep myself alive, dodge around, and look for the odd easy kill before the match ends. There comes a point when the amount of damage you can do drops off. You can't change the outcome, so don't waste your ship. Put it away, stay somewhere safe, go for easy targets.